forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today. Simply curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Good morning. How are you doing? This is 1100 WSGI. I'm Utah Laverne, and this is One Street Over. What's going on? We're getting started with everything that's happening around town. We've been waiting for a call. We're going to get a call here in just a little bit from Terry Wilson. We believe he's going to give us a call here. This is the day. This is the first Wednesday, and that is when we get Terry to give us a call and talk to us about all things that matter to our veterans. So we're anticipating Terry giving us a call here in just a little bit, and if that doesn't happen, my friend Lee Marie is here. She's in the house. What is up, sister?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing excellent, and thank you so much for taking care of everything while I was in Mexico. You did a great job. I've listened to some of it. You did a good job, and it's so funny because it just takes a little while to kind of got to get used to all of it. So you just don't be too hard. You don't be too hard on yourself is what I'm trying to say. Because it's like when I was asking you about it yesterday, you were like, oh, but I said, no, everybody has to learn. I've been doing this since 1980. So seriously, I've been doing this a long time, and I still mess up royally because equipment's different. Yeah. Systems are all different, and we have different things that go, sideways sometimes because equipment messes up and things like that. And then too, sometimes I just forget still, even as long as I've been doing this. So, you get the talking down and you get the mechanics of it all. And I think this is Terry. Let's see if this is Terry calling us. Terry, are you with us?
American Legion Post 45 Greenbrier.
Okay. Terry, are you there?
Yes,
Terry.
I am. Are you there?
I'm here. The phones are working. It's a good day. I love it. Well, and a lot of go ahead.
And I'm almost where I'm going in Nashville, so that's a good thing. A veteran on the radio live, and no 7 seconds late to beat me.
Well, there you go. Now remember, because our phones do not go through a delay, so that means you better behave yourself and not say something that's going to get us in trouble, all right?
Hey, that's why I'm glad I'm almost where I'm going.
You're so funny.
Early this morning.
Yeah, you did. Well, and I appreciate you giving us a call, too. And I have to kind of say on top, I was talking about the phones. Sometimes, a lot of the times with the phones messing up, it's operator error on my part. And it's because it's new. It's technology I've never messed with, Google phones, And so so I got to, because the company here, Ebenezer Broadcasting, they're doing such a beautiful job. This facility is just amazing. We're so proud of the work that they're doing. Two Christian broadcast stations housed right here in Robertson County that you can hear worldwide via the internet and the app. So check it out and check out all this great information from Terry Wilson, our everything for the veterans. It's when your phone number popped up as American Legion Post 45, and I'm like, well, that's just the tip of what you do. Tell everybody that might not be familiar with you what your job is here for the folks of Robertson County.
Well, I am the Veteran Service Officer, the Director for Veteran Services in Robertson County. So what we do is we assist veterans, their surviving spouses, and families in trying to get benefits that the veteran has so rightly earned, either through combat or wartime service or injuries that they sustain just while serving even during peacetime. So it's it keeps us busy, keeps us hopping.
Well, and there's been some changes in regards to the way things are. If and I don't know if I'm unpacking this right, but there's been a reclassification about being serving during war, peacetime, and all of that. Right? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I'm hoping that they will go back and look at that. The American Legion in 2019 got the Legion Act 2019 passed through Congress, and which they are congressionally chartered. And so by doing that, Congress now has committed to the fact that since December 7, 1941, we have been under a constant time of war. And so I'm thinking that, in my opinion, if they say that yes, we have been, then VA needs to catch up with the time and understand that we got hundreds of thousands of veterans out here that we can assist, that their service is considered peacetime. We've never truly had true peace. We've lost a lot of troops under peacetime conditions.
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely, because there's been terrorist attacks and things ever since World War II, really. Once, I mean, it's been on, and it has, like you said, it's never really been a true time of peace since then. And but anyway, it's quite interesting just to see all the details that need to really be in line when you're a veteran, a veteran's family, and the opportunities that are available to it. And there's nobody does it any better than you and your office, and we're so proud of the work that you do.
Well, I tell you, I've got a great team. I'd put them up against anybody or any service officer across the state. And my team probably, and I'm not toot our own horn and stuff, but we have won cases that other people have just kind of threw their hands up and just, well, we can't do anything else. So that's, to me, that's a big feather in our cap. At least we'll try to go the extra mile to get that, to get those benefits that veteran needs. And if you just throw your hands and quit, well, that doesn't benefit them any. So, my thing is you keep fighting.
Absolutely. Don't sit down. Just keep fighting. But so what have we got going on right now? I know that, we're anticipating, because now you'll be in before the September 11th memorial. I was trying to think of the proper word, but the September 11th memorial that we're going to be a part of, and we can touch on that in a minute. But what have you got coming up between now and then?
Between now and then, it is just getting ready.
Okay.
So there's still a lot of things we've got to. We're down to small details. And it's just make sure that everything is laid out. We have the timing right. We're still waiting on the confirmation of the flyover. We're about 85-90% sure that's going to happen. We've got a really good contact that has good ties out at Fort Campbell. And I just heard last night they got a new brigadier general coming in, and so if they do the changing of the colors for then our contact knows very well. So that helps.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because sometimes that change can make it have to start over, but that's not the case. So if that change happens, we're in good stead. So,
But it is a big, two big functions going on that day. So, there's several big functions. So I know there's other things going on in Robertson County on September the 11th. But so there's something there for everyone, and everything's going to be going long enough that everybody can come out and participate at any of the functions that are going on.
And go ahead, and since we're talking on this and touching on this, let's just go ahead and tell them exactly where they're going to be and all that. And it sounds like did you go from speakerphone to handheld, because the volume on your end is much better. So whatever you're doing right now, keep doing it, because it's sounding lots better on the air. So
Well,
if you can,
I'm actually parked where I'm going to
Good
be,
deal.
so
You can go
that way we
hands-free.
don't have to worry about what I'm going to say.
there you go. And your hands free now, so you can put the phone up to you because we're getting a lot better. We're getting a lot better audible
Yeah.
from you. So, or getting a lot better audio from you. So go ahead and just tell them exactly what's happening on September 11th, and let's unpack that right now.
Okay.
And the hour,
Well,
the time, and where we're going to be, and all of that. And I'm going to be there. I'm hosting for them. Just honored that y'all asked me to do that. But go ahead and just kind of fill them in
Yeah.
the details.
Well, we've two big things that the veterans are doing on September the 11th. The American Legion Riders are hosting a 9/11 memorial remembrance that day. They're going to have, from what I understand, a kids area set up, food trucks. Our plan is to do the ceremony at 2:00. Let me see, is it 1 or 2? I think it's 1 o'clock. And at that time, we're hoping to have the flyover. We've got a 20 by 30 American flag ordered to be able to put up out there, and so we're hoping that we'll have a couple of the ladder trucks out to be able to suspend that. I think that's going to be the easiest way to find us. We'll be at the Calvary Baptist Church out back at the pavilion, which is very large. So I'll give kudos to Calvary Baptist for allowing them to be able to set up and do their function. Their function starts at 10 o'clock that morning. It's going to run all the way till 4. So I think it's going to be a great time for people just to be able to come out. Very family friendly. So for those that might be concerned about alcohol, there is no alcohol there, and so that way it's very family friendly. The other big thing that's going on is the VFW 2120 is hosting their annual Freedom Ride, and that will start on that Saturday morning as well. They will start at the Piggy Pit, and which is there behind. I think everybody calls it Mexican place Elmo's. So I think that's how everybody knows it. But anyway, it's right there close to them, and the start registration, I believe it's going to be at 9:30. Kickstands up at, I believe it's either 11 or 11:30, because they're hoping to be able to bring their ride back around to where they can be there for the 9/11 ceremony then at 1 o'clock. So that's their plan. Now they will also have a silent auction going, 50-50 drawings, it's a poker run, so a lot of good things that they're going to be doing there. So they will start at the Piggy Pit, they'll end back at the Piggy Pit. So I think it's going to be those two functions there. I mean, it's just going to, there's something there for everyone. And so I think that'd be really good for the community to be able to come out. And I mean, it's been 20 years since this has happened, and I mean, it's just it should have never happened. But here we are 20 years later, and hopefully we'll have all of our troops home soon.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just looking, Lee Marie has fixed up a nice little flyer for the event that she handed to me. And it's also on here that Kyle Mercer is going to be providing some entertainment. And he is a Navy vet. So looking forward to that. And it's sponsored by Shrum Auto Salvage and State Line Auto Parts, LLC. And it's going to be a, there's our friend Adam Pope has a song that's called I Ain't Over It Yet, and he sent me a redo of it. They've kind of rewritten a little bit of the lyric in it and recut it. And there's a line in it that talks about, because he was a teenager when it happened, and how that it just hit. Pardon, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, but I thought you wanted to jump in there. But there's a line in that song that talks about even him as a teen. He remembers going home as the sun was setting and thinking about the people who saw the sun rise that didn't see it set. And that's that line in it. And as I just think about us coming together that entire day, that's just kind of in my mind, is thinking about 20 years ago, the people who saw that sunrise that didn't see the sunset had no idea it was coming. And I don't know. I just, it bothered me so much just a few years. On 9/11, we came together as a country like I've never seen before. And it was hard to deal with, but the beauty of how we came together as Americans was so beautiful. But I can remember just a few years, I want to say about 3 or 4 years later, for the first few years, it was a big deal. But then as we got about 3 or 4 years into it, I remember there being a field trip scheduled and just different things scheduled. And we got so much about the terrorists win if we don't live life. But man, they win when we forget. And I remember I remember going to a field trip on 9/11, probably 3 or 4 years after it happened. And writing on the back of my car, never forget. Because it seemed like even just a few years into it, people were already forgetting. And I remember writing that on my window because we were going on this field trip. And I thought, do you realize what today is? Because I had to be there for my kids. But I thought, man, I know we need to, live our lives and all that. But when we forget, anyway. I don't know. It's just one of those things. I just don't get it as a nation. How we can just forget the price that's been paid for this freedom.
I look at my boys. My middle son, he was 6 years old at the time when it happened. My youngest one wasn't even a year old yet. So he's at the point that he would never remember a time that the towers were there. I mean, it seemed like every home had an American flag. I mean, churches made sure that they had, the flag flying. They made sure they had it in the sanctuary, which is as long as I've been alive, and going to church and stuff. There's always been an American flag, but now a lot of them are taking it out because they don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I'm like, when it comes all down to it, we all bleed the same color. We all bleed red. And we can either be a nation divided or a nation together. And to me, we're much stronger together than we are divided. And
Amen.
It's just, but that's what we got going on then. I think Robertson County, isn't that the same weekend that they're doing Taste of Robertson County?
It's Experience Robertson County. Yeah, it's Experience. It's on 9/11, and I even asked them about that. I thought, to me, that seemed not the right day. I just, but they have promised me that they're going to be, putting out those memorial things and making it. I mean, you can come together and do those kinds of things, but I think you need to really be very respectful about what that day means, especially being the 20th anniversary. And so I have talked to different ones about it, and they've reassured me that it's going to be an opportunity to get out and enjoy the freedoms that we have and the beauty of our county, but you will be constantly reminded of the memorial of that day. And so if you're involved in Experience Robertson County, I really challenge you to do that because and then we've got the fair kicking off. I mean, the fair's kicking off too. And so all of these things that are happening and it is the 20th anniversary, and I think again, like I felt on that day when we had to go do that field trip for the kids. Yes, let's live life and let's embrace the beauty and the freedom we have. But don't you dare forget the cost and what this day means. And I just think we have messed up so bad in keeping our history alive and reminding. The images of 9/11, we need to be looking at them. We need to be making sure our kids see just what evil looks like, because this notion that that this thing, America, happened, just out of luck, and no, a lot of blood was shed, and it is worth fighting for still. And man, we got to get this right, y'all. We got to get this right. But
That's it.
yeah, so I tell you, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go down this rabbit hole, but it's just as we get closer, Adam Pope is a dear friend, and he wanted me to listen to this little remake of the song, and it's just absolutely beautiful. And as I listened to it last night, and then knowing I'm talking to you today, knowing we're going to talk about the 9/11 stuff, it just is on my heart, and I can't believe that people don't understand the importance. There's some, and there's many, and we're so blessed in this area to be, you know, in the buckle of the Bible Belt, and I mean in the buckle of patriotism. We really truly are in Tennessee, but in so many areas, they have really forgotten. They've really forgotten. But all right, my friend, go ahead.
I've been a lot of places across the state and other states as well, and I will have to say that Robertson County is probably one of the most patriotic counties that I have been through or been in, either one. And so that says a lot. And especially when they, I mean, we have a little bit larger office now. We're actually at the county building. And so, I mean, it is good to know that we have the support, not only of our county mayor, Billy Vogel, but also that we have the support of our county commissioners, because without their support and support of the veterans and love of the veterans, we wouldn't have our office, and our office wouldn't be able to do the things that it does. So, you know, I have to give big kudos out to them, because not every county has a county mayor or county exec or county commissioners that even support the veteran side of it. They go through the motions. Oh, we got an office. Guy comes in, sits down, keeps the seat warm, and we give him a check at the end of the week, and he comes in for 1 day a week. Well, you can't do anything on 1 day a week.
Oh, no, it's obvious. I mean, that's one thing. We see how inundated you are because people know they can come to you and get results. I've got friends of mine in Davidson County that have been just, you know, not getting anywhere, that I have pointed to you just to help open some doors for them, because they just can't get people that are passionate about it. And it's so important to have somebody like you in the seat that has a heart for it, that's a veteran yourself, and understands the needs of the veterans out there. So again, we thank you all the time, but we just can't say thank you enough for the work that you're doing, brother. For sure.
Well, I will have to toot our office's horn one more time. Thailand is one of our hardest places to be able to get Vietnam veterans connected for herbicides exposure, and we just won our second Thailand case,
awesome.
And we have a third one. That's floating out there and feeling pretty good about it.
Tell everybody just again exactly where you're located, what your hours are, and any of the particulars, phone numbers, anything that you want to give out at this point. Because some people some people are just finding us with one street over in the show they're going, what is this? And they're needing this information. So let's go ahead and just give that out and unpack that for them. This is talking with Terry Wilson. He's our Veteran Services Officer here in Robertson County, among 1,000 other things. But just kind of tell them exactly how they can get in touch with you if they have a veteran or are a veteran that needs some help and counsel.
Okay. Our address is 505 South Brown Street, Springfield, Tennessee, 37172. We are located inside the county building. For those that are been Robertson County residents for quite a while, they'll remember that as the old Jesse Holmes Hospital. We are on the end opposite the jail, which is good for us. We're on the first floor. Come in past the county clerk's office, take a left, take a right in the main hallway. We're the first office on the left. We're kind of diagonally across the hallway from the trustee's office. So it's a very good location for us. Our office phone number is 615-382-6506. That's 615-382-6506. Use our hours. I try to see people between 8 and 4. We will kind of shut the door for a little bit for lunch. If it wasn't for that, we wouldn't ever get to eat or try to clear our head a little bit. and I tried to use the last bit of the afternoon just trying to get caught up on some phone calls. I asked people, multiple calls are not required. That if you do call the office and don't get one of us, please, leave us a brief message. Name, phone number, what we can, maybe what we can help you with. The veterans last four, especially if they've been in our office. Those things help. We don't have to have a 3-minute message because we'll get that information when we call back. Ashley and Scott are very trained in the office. Ashley is my admin assistant, who is now admin/assistant VSO. Scott is retired Air Force, and he is a VSO. And both of them are very highly trained and very knowledgeable in what they do. I'd say probably about 70 to 80% of the phone calls that come in, I want to talk to Terry. And I will apologize to everyone, if I take every phone call that comes in and I talk, then I don't touch any claims and nobody's paperwork gets in. So it's kind of a toss-up on that. So unfortunately, when to get the calls in, I try to defer to Ashley and Scott to answer as many questions as they can. Anything that needs to come to me, of course, I'm right there, or, I'll take the call. But one thing my wife set down last Labor Day is no more doing the long days and the long weeks and working on stuff 7 days a week. So she said that's over.
Absolutely.
So
go ahead.
I'm struggling with it, but I'm really trying.
Trying to take a little bit of time off. And I tell you, I'm going to pause you right here, and we're going to do one of our spots. Are you going to be okay to stick with us until 8 o'clock?
I'll be able to do it till probably about 10 till.
Okay, but so we got Terry Wilson on until about 10 till. Lee Marie is standing by because she has her Go Show happening today that comes on right after us. And that's a chance for her to just kind of fill you in on all the things happening around the community and just talk about other stuff. Her and Pat come in and do the Go Show, and that follows us today at 8 o'clock until 9 o'clock. But I do want to pause for a minute, and we're going to go ahead and talk about Riceman Buick GMC. Really, it's a curiosity to me, and I know it is to everybody, how things have just changed because of last year. Some things have changed, and we they're maybe learning new ways to do things, and sometimes you think, well, maybe this is a better way. And that's what's happened with the auto industry in some regards, is some of the auto dealers are saying, maybe we don't have to have millions of dollars worth of new car inventory. Maybe we can set it up and encourage people that like to trade every year, every other year. Come in here and anticipate that and order what you want, so that way you're not going from car lot to car lot trying to find that perfect color, that perfect package that you want on your car. You can order it when it gets here, it's yours. He says that's changed the trend. It's opened up the door of ordering vehicles to a lot of people who never considered it. It's helping the dealers see that we don't have to have all this new car inventory. They can focus more on pre-owned stuff like I like to. I've been driving Yukons for a while now. I put 400,000 miles on a Yukon, guys. I finally retired it, but because it was time. But I've got one now, about 180,000 miles. I love my Yukons, and they just run forever. And if you are like me and you want a pre-owned vehicle, they're trying to bring more of those in. Low-mile vehicles that still have some factory warranty on them. Sometimes they get the certified pre-owned that goes through those multiple inspections, and they're a full-service dealership that can service those warranties because they've got a service department they have hours that they're open every single day that the dealership opens. They vary from the dealership hours, but you can go by and talk to them about that. The dealership hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. And you've got a great website, RicemanBuickGMC.com, where you can go check out leasing and financing options, fill out your application online. You can even see some of the things that they have in stock. But go by and see them. Great dealership, great people. Todd and Courtney Riceman, they picked us when they came to Robertson County. Riceman Buick GMC, one of our sponsors here at One Street Over. Get by there and tell them thank you for sponsoring, and tell them U-Turn sent you. And getting back into the show with my friend Terry Wilson is on the phone, and we're just excited that we're able to do phone calls. This is probably the second one I've had without any glitch, and again, a lot of it's it's operator error because it's a new system that I'm having to learn and things like that. So, but it's working well, and we appreciate that. Appreciate you being on, Terry, with us this morning. And so, what else have you? We're talking a lot about everything that's going on with the 9/11 memorial that we have coming up. But is there anything else pressing that you really need to get out there for folks? Because I know that at 10 till you'll have to cut away. So, anything else?
I
That's
think
really
I think that's going to be our biggest thing that we have coming up. I think the last Saturday in September, I believe they're doing a historical event over in Coopertown, but I don't have my note right in front of me on that. I got that one off. I got that from a quick phone call. So
we'll reach out to them. We'll reach out to them and find out what's going on. And so, and you said that's in Coopertown? Okay.
But on the claim side and veterans, one of the biggest things I see is when people try to work their own claim, it can really go sideways real quick because they'll keep filing for the same thing over and over and over, and without having the right evidence and supporting medical documentation, those are going to keep coming back denied. And even if they take it to a board of veteran appeals, then there's a good chance it's going to come back denied. And our thing within any veteran service office that's worth their weight in salt, their goal is to win it without having to go to the Board of Veteran Appeals. To fight that and get that through. So if we're working on disability, main thing is first thing, got to have an incident that occurred in service. We need a diagnosis and we need continued treatment. It doesn't have to be treatment every month, but they could have had a treatment a few months after they came out, maybe a couple of years later, got to bother them again, a few more treatments. But those are things that we have to do to be able to build what we call a fully developed claim. I don't like piecemealing stuff. Don't like just taking a shot in the dark, doing the shotgun effect. It's really got to back this up and make sure we've got the right information, because to me, anything less than getting a win is not acceptable for the veteran.
I love your attitude. And, and as I'm sitting here listening to you talk about the claims and stuff, I have a friend who has a son that served in the Guard and was injured during a service exercise and I don't know where I have lost track of them because they're not living in the area right now. But I know that he was denied again and again and again and again. And I don't know that they ever got a claim through. But if you've got somebody like that who's been denied repeatedly, and it's very clearly, I mean, he was in, they go and they do their exercises monthly and in their, I forget exactly what they call it, but, he goes and serves once a month, and it was during one of those times he was injured. He is qualified, correct?
It gets a really touchy thing because they have to be under Title 10 orders, which provides them a DD 214.
What is that? What does that mean for those of us who have not served?
Title 10, that puts them under federal orders, where they've been called to duty by the federal government.
And so since he was a reservist...
Guard and Reserve are probably our two toughest ones.
Okay. Well, and I didn't understand that because I just assumed... Okay, I didn't realize that. Interesting. So since they're reservists and have never been called up, even though he was training for service, he not under order, so it doesn't qualify. Okay. That shouldn't be that way. Because, I mean, if they've put the uniform, don't you think? I mean, in my opinion, he's saying, hey, I'll serve, and he's going through things that he has to show up and do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that doesn't make sense to me.
And
they need to fix that.
And I'm not, I'm not going to say it's a no-win case. It's one that someone really has to take it on, and basically we use the Code of Federal Regulations 38 CFR, and that covers the VA for disabilities, the ratings. They also use a book called the M21, which tells them how they're supposed to rate something. And then I've got to find, a lot of times I'll go find court cases that match up in similarity. And every claim, you can have two claims that appear on the surface to be absolutely identical, but each one has to stand on its own merit. There is no where they have the ruling and say, okay, this is it, and so this is it across the board. It's not. Every claim has to stand on its own merit.
So there's no precedent set when something happens. You can't do like you do in a regular court and say, okay, there's precedent here for this, and so that means this works, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. But it doesn't mean you can't use that as part of your argument. And so I will. My thing is use everything at my disposal, and that's what my team does. We try to use everything at our disposal to be able to go in and argue that claim. And with an injury that happens during their training, would this have happened if they hadn't been? Well, no, it wouldn't have. So now we get into just how much somebody wants to argue and how much they want to dig on finding the right code to match up with it, to argue with, possibly either BVA cases or civilian appeals, Veterans Court. So that takes time going through those, because you have to read that decision by the judge, the appellate briefs, and so to go through them. So it does take time. I can tell you right now, I can have anywhere from 10 hours to 160 hours tied up just in one claim.
Wow. I mean,
By
that's
the time to
incredible.
do the research and everything.
That's incredible. And that's, guys, Terry's here to help you. His office is here to help you. If you have questions and you've got an old claim and you maybe, got upside down like on the way that you need to present it, reach out to them and they will help you out. And as we were talking about the events that are coming up, besides the 9/11 memorial that we'll continue to talk about and continue to promote as we build up to it, Joyce Gentry has chimed in on comments here on social media that the dedication for the Gold Star family marker that's going to be there with the Orange Heart medal display and the wall that we've built there at the Memorial Gardens, Springfield Memorial Gardens. That dedication is on September 18th at 11 a.m. So that's going to be just the next Saturday after 9/11, September 18th at 11 a.m. at Springfield Memorial Gardens. That is whenever the dedication will happen for the Gold Star family marker that's been being placed there as well. So that's something else to put on your calendar for sure.
And if you haven't seen it, it's a beautiful marker.
She had shown me some mock-ups of it, and I haven't seen the final marker, but or maybe I have. I'm not sure. She has shown me something that was supposed to be, but it's going to be, and it's just a way to remind people that your freedom's not free, y'all. Your freedom's not free. It comes at a horrible cost, and the fact that we've got that as you come into Springfield, I just love it, and it's becoming a bigger as it expands. It's becoming more prevalent. People can't miss it as you're coming by going, what is that? And then when you stop and really look at it, and it's just a way to honor our Vietnam veterans, and just a very special way that came home and that have been fighting the battle continually, even though that they made it home.
That's it.
Amen. So Go ahead, Terry.
But,
What have you got on? What else have you got for us? It's kind of hard. And that's one thing for me. I interact with people based upon their facial expressions and the way. And so it's when I'm trying to talk to somebody on the phone, it's very difficult for me because I'm not sure.
lose that.
Yeah. So that's why I like in-person interviews. But I'm so glad that the phones work because that opens up an opportunity. Just like you had somewhere you had to be in Nashville, we would have missed this interview if it hadn't been. We could do it via phone. So we're glad that this is working, and we'll be hearing some more phone interviews. I've got a couple of other folks I'm going to reach out to now that we've got some good operating phone lines. And that's the way we always talk to Representative John Rose, and we're working on, he's not going to, just kind of a quick programming note, he typically joins us for the second Monday, and the office told me that he is going to be tied up this coming Monday, or whenever it's supposed to be. I guess it's not this coming Monday, but, well, yeah, it is. The first was Sunday. I'm sorry, I'm doing the calendar in my head. So he is not available this coming Monday. We're going to reschedule him, and we'll get him on, and I'll let you know what that's going to be. So where else do we need to go, Terry, before you have to wrap it up and head out? What else you got for us?
Well, I just want to say, and a lot of people think, oh my gosh, that's a lot of time. What's it going to cost me? All it costs them is time, because our services, there is no charge for our services for what we do. We are funded by the county, so our county property taxes is what helps funds us, and it really shows by the success of our office is that we went from $28 million a year coming into Robertson County for our veterans, and you know that's not money that the county gets count per se into the county coffers. That's money that's actually going into our veterans and helping to take care of them, and that's just compensation and pension costs, which is disability and pension for our veterans and surviving spouses, but. You know, we went from 28 to 33. I think we're at 35 now, 36 million, for 2020. So, I mean, we just, that number keeps going up. So it tells me, you know, we're doing good things. And I would say in the last 6 months, we have probably gone back and recouped for veterans, probably close to $500,000 in back pay.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Because I know too that we were over 100,000 on. So I had never broke the 100,000 mark. And Ashley called me one day and she said, "Guess what?" I said, "What?" She goes, "You broke the 100,000 mark."
That's awesome. And this is benefits that were owed to these veterans that they should have been getting all these years, and that builds up. And I mean, you talk about something, guys, if you're a veteran and you have been suffering and you came out with, you know, problems, and you get frustrated when you watch Washington and you see all the money that is wasted. This is not money you're taking from another veteran. This is you making sure the government is taking care of you for your service. And I'm begging you, if you're thinking, oh, I don't want to do that, I don't want to take something from another, you're not. You're making Washington be accountable to the people they should be accountable to. And, you know, all the, I don't even want to start on Washington. I tell you what, I can't go there. But let me go ahead and take a quick break, and then when we come back, you just kind of think about anything else you need to cover. But let me go ahead and take my next break, and we'll come back and finish up with Terry Wilson. He is our Veteran Services Officer, amongst many, many other things here in Robertson County. But I do need to pause and talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Friends of mine, love them. They are just awesome. And they're the whole package when it comes to taking care of your real estate needs. It's a weird time, but if you're getting ready to buy, you know, you got to get pre-qualified, but you also got to think about, how much more could I pay for this house than it's worth and it's going to appraise for, because I'm probably going to get into a bidding war, especially if it's a very appealing piece of property that you're wanting to buy. Trying to be on the buying side is tough right now. You need a good representation. Somebody like Rebecca that's been at it a long time, that understands how to cross those T's and dot those I's, and she has been at it a long time. Barry's always helped her with the marketing side of it. They're a, nice, sweet couple, and they live up in Coopertown. They've been there for over 20 years. And he was always a marketer, so always there to help. But now he's full time, because if you're selling, you're not going to get into a bidding war over your property if people don't know it's for sale. So he is the one that can make sure that it's on Zillow. He's a Zillow certified photographer, so he'll get it up on Realtor.com. He can do the drone footage. He's a licensed and insured drone pilot, and does those beautiful 360 360-degree virtual reality home tours. There's an art to that, and he is very, very good at it. He'll make sure people can walk through your home and see your home, and you're going to make sure that people who need to know that your place is for sale are going to know about it. And get ready, because man, oh man, things are happening quick and fast and furious in this market. It is a crazy time, and they will be at the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival on August 27th and 28th, but do not wait until then to talk to them. Reach out to them today at sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buyrobertsoncounty.com. You can get in touch with them as well. And don't let that Buy Robertson County moniker or that website fool you. They also buy and sell in the surrounding counties, across the state line up in Kentucky. They're the whole package. Good friends of mine, Barry and Rebecca Richards, Exit Realty Garden Gate team, sellwithbecky.com, or buyrobertsoncounty.com. And when you get in touch with them, please be sure and tell them that U-Turn sent you. And getting back with my friend, Terry Wilson is in the house. He is talking with us about everything going on, and just wanted to kind of take and pause for a second and say, is there anything else that we're missing that we need to cover?
I guess the biggest thing I always tell people, patience. Patience is a virtue, believe it or not. And anytime we're doing anything with the VA, patience is the biggie. But along with that, like you said, if anyone's had any type of injuries or anything, and here's the thing I get the biggest part is someone will come in and say, well, I never filed for anything because I wanted to leave it for the other guys, and because I came back with I got all my parts and pieces, and other guys are suffering more. Well, and I respect your decision to do that. But I will tell them that they're not hurting them by getting the benefits. They're hurting them by not doing it. Because with the VA being a government entity, they have to do their appropriation for funds every year. So the veterans that we have within the VA system help them be able to appropriate those the additional funds for equipment, personnel, doctors, nurses, whatever needs to be done. Maybe even opening up additional clinics elsewhere. I mean, it does take some funds to do that, and it has to come out of their budget. So it counts off the veterans, and it's kind of like when each year the national commander for the American Legion and the VFW have to go testify in front of Congress. Well, the stronger those organizations are, the better it is for them to argue, because they can say, hey, we've got 3 million veterans sitting behind us that are members, and they want you to get off your doofus and be able to get out here and do something and take care of our people. So numbers of people talks, numbers talk, and that's the biggest thing I can tell folks is don't sit and wait, because if you pass away and your spouse is trying to get benefits, and it's something that you should have already been getting, it makes it really tough for us to do. So the best time to work on your claim is yesterday.
Exactly. And, on piggybacking on that, and this is something you touched on the last time you were in here, and I don't know, for some reason, I have driven by several veteran cemeteries lately, and you mentioned this, that if you want to make sure that that's your final resting place, you need to get that paperwork done as well, way ahead of time, correct?
Yes. They can stop in our office. We can actually do the pre-registration. It's really simple. We only need if we don't already have their DD-214 and marriage certificate on file, we just need to have both of those so we can go ahead and be able to send those to the state. Takes about 4 weeks. They should get a letter back telling them that they do have a spot that they will have when the time comes. And it's the last thing I want to have to do is be sitting on a Monday morning for someone to pass away over the weekend, sending their paper. Actually, I did this on the Sunday, and send paperwork in for a good friend of mine to be able to go ahead and have all the information at the Veterans Cemetery when they opened first thing on Monday morning. So those are tough to do, but fortunately I had all the information I needed. But if they, when should you do it?
Yesterday.
That's got to be your choice. But yesterday is not too late. I did mine 10 years ago.
Awesome.
So
Yeah.
and I have no intention of moving anytime soon.
I gotcha. And I think I passed by the one that you mentioned that up in Kentucky across the state line. And wasn't that where you told me that your site is?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. And I passed it. I'm wanting to say just maybe yesterday. I'd run around so much I forget, but I'm like, I think that's the one that Terry was mentioning. And so again, don't put this stuff off, guys. This save your family the heartache of having to do this and I try to find out information just about the ranking of people who have gone to church with me, because we have a board at our church that honors our veterans. And if I find out you're a veteran and you're not on my board, I want you on my board because I want people to know that you served. And some of them, I have found out that their spouse may be served and they've passed and they're not really sure of their ranking because they're much old. It's been a while. And I want to put that on there, that they were sergeant or whatever, but nonetheless, get this stuff done, guys. Get this stuff done while you have the opporety to.
And,
All right, buddy.
I say, and I'm not trying, I don't want to sound morbid or anything, but when people are out, take, and most of the time you're probably going to be close to where a veteran cemetery is at. Just drive through.
Mm-hmm.
Notice the solemnness and how, and I mean, there's a lot of planning that goes in for them to select where a veteran cemetery is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it has to have the right look, the right future vision. I mean, they will actually walk away from land that they could get for pennies on the dollar because it doesn't have the right look. It's just, there's so much that goes into the planning of these. And we're doing another funeral tomorrow. I'll be out at Middle Tennessee Veteran Cemetery, the biggest part of the day tomorrow. Had one of our members, their son, passed away. He was stationed up at Fort Drum. And so we'll be out there. We were just out there 2 weeks ago, so we're going to be out there again tomorrow. And it's solemn, but I tell you, since I've been going out there, I've been watching it fill up. There's a lot of areas where there was nothing to where it's full.
Wow. I appreciate you, brother. Is there anything that, I know it's past 10 till here, and I don't want to keep you past you've got an appointment to get to. Is anything else that you want to say before we wrap up our time with you this morning?
Nope, sure not. Just look forward to seeing you face to face again.
Absolutely. We'll get you in here. First Wednesday is Terry's Day to come in, and I may see you out and about around town in the meantime, but look forward to seeing you back because, I mean, that'll be the getting really close to time for our 9/11 memorial. And so we'll be talking more about that. I'll be talking about it as we, come up to that date and anything else. And of course, want to remind you too about the dedication at the Springfield Memorial Gardens of the Gold Star Family Marker on September 18th. Thank you, sir, for your service. And I'll let you get to your appointment now. Thanks for joining us this morning.
All right. Thank you, Laverne.
Thank you, Terry. God bless you, brother. And before we get back into the show and just kind of finish up here, going up to the top of the hour before the Go Show, I want to take a moment and talk about Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts Nursery and Gardening Center. I got off of my oil schedule while I was in Mexico. For some reason, when I travel, I forget to take my stuff. I just get out of sync. And so I took it about 3 times while I was traveling. And man, all of a sudden it hit me one day this weekend, and I'd been a couple of days without it. And my shoulder started twinging on me a little bit more than it normally does. I've got arthritis. It's just part of my life. And I'm so thankful that I live in a time that we can get joint replacements and things like that. And I see people down in Mexico that don't have access to the medical care we do. And I see them limping around and walking like I was before my hip replacement. And I see them struggling with arthritis. And again, they just don't have the resources. And I'm so thankful that I had a great doctor, Dr. Jeffrey Hodrick up at Southern Joint Replacement that did my hip replacements. I've had both replaced. I'm only 58, so that kind of gives you an idea about the arthritis that I have going on. And he is the one that recommended that I try CBD. And I was so skeptical. I thought it was snake oil. I was like, everybody kept trying to sell it to me. But he pointed me to the Corbins. That's what's so interesting. He knew the Corbins. Well, actually, he knew them. Amy came in just 2 days after Dr. Hodrick had mentioned it to me. And then she started talking about their CBD. I had no idea they even had it. But Bill started growing hemp when it became legal to grow again. And they're like, what can we do with this? And so they take that hemp and process it into the oil that's sold at Corbin Creek. It's Robertson County CBD. Can't get any closer to the source. Can't get any better than that, folks. So if you're curious about it and want to try it, that's where I recommend you go. Amy can talk a lot about the science behind it, and it has really been a game changer for me and my arthritis. But they're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, Sunday from 1 to 5, and they're out there picking the garden. They've got all kinds of produce coming in. They'll be at the farmer's market, got 4 more farmer's markets, and you can go by and get some of their fresh produce. You can get some of their beautiful hanging baskets for your porch. She was saying, we're dripping mums right now. So in the greenhouses, you'll see the drip, drip, drip irrigation on their mums as they get ready for mums for fall color. They're your one-stop shop. They are the pick, the people's choice for the Market Street Awards, and it's just a cool place. Corbin Creek Greenhouse, Gifts, Nursery, and Gardening Center, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5, Sunday from 1 to 5. You can call them at 615-384-3185, 615-384-3185. They're at 4920 Highway 161. When you get by there, please always tell them that U-Turn sent you and thank them for sponsoring our little thing we call One Street Over. And as I get back into the show for a minute, as we're kind of wrapping up, getting ready to set it and let Lee Marie slide on in here. A couple of things that just occurred to me that I want to remind you of. And school buses should probably already be parked now. But as this is me reverting back to my traffic reporter days. Watch out for the kids. Keep them safe. Please, please, please observe school zones. When they first started doing the hands-free thing, I didn't realize that it was always, you're not supposed to have your phone up talking when you're in a school zone. Of course, now it's hands-free no matter what you're doing. But it was in a school zone where I got stopped one time, and this has been several years ago, because I was on my phone in a school zone. And I was crawling. I mean, I was just, barely moving. But guys, you got to be careful. There should not be any distractions when you're around these kiddos. Please, please, please adhere to the school zones and watch out for the kiddos. And also, too, add a little bit of time to your commute. I was heading in this morning, plenty of time, and I got behind a bus that's been in my a new one in my neighborhood that had 2 bus stops, and those kiddos were not in a big hurry to get on the bus. I'll just say, they were kind of just taking their time coming to the bus, and it took me quite a bit longer to get to the office this morning or to the studio than it normally does because of the school buses. So put that into your commute time. You could get behind a school bus, and you don't need to be anxious. You don't need to be in a hurry. So add to your commute time, and please be careful around these school buses. But that's my traffic reporter, reverting back to my traffic reporter for you. But other than that, that's the main thing I've got. Just say again, plan to be with us for 9/11 at the Calvary Baptist Church. And it's going to be just a great day of time of remembering and coming together and just remembering. And I hope you'll be a part of that 20 year memorial time. And it's going to be interesting. But Lee Marie's going to be coming up with the Go Show. We've got tomorrow coming on for our business of the week. It is Wednesday, and it's just so weird. I've been so out of sync. I'm kind of settling in now, kind of getting back into my routine. But the whole package is a business that's up in the Greenbrier area. And they do FedEx, they do photography, they do the whole package. They're everything. They do blueprints, photography, screen printing. They are a notary. They do packing and shipping, laminating. They have local honey. I mean, they are the whole package. Oh, my word. That's hysterical. Local crafters. They do printing, gifts, more. And again, I have another card that says they do photography. So they are the whole package. And so that's a lot of fun. We're going to get to talk to them tomorrow morning. And then we'll have Ace and Brian from United Way. I miss them. They did their Stuff the Bus program. And I shared a little bit of that on social media, but a lot of fun. And that's what's coming up. And then we've got Matt Driscoll in on Friday. Friday's his day to come in and talk with us on Faith Friday. So got a full slate of guests all the way up until the end of the week, and looking forward to that. And I'll just kind of tease a couple of guests that I'm getting ready to have on because our phone lines are working so beautifully. I have got broadcast friends in Texas and in California that I saw at the Tennessee Radio Hall of Fame dinner on Saturday night. Now, Nick Archer's one and Carlos Clemente is the other. Carlos lives out in California and actually sells cars out there, and he's the guy who hired me in Nashville. He is the one who hired me at WLAC, and he's a dear friend. So I'm going to get him on the phone, and I want to talk to him about how things are out in California. I want to talk to him a little bit about the car industry because he's been in it for a long time, as I've been talking about Reiselman and all that, and I think he can offer some perspective from California, and also about how things are shaping up with the renewed push for putting on masks again and all of this stuff, which I'm not a mask person, guys. I just don't believe it works, but I'm curious to see how things feel just in that community there. And then I also want to kind of get that same perspective from my friend down in Texas, Nick Archer, and just kind of see how things feel across the country. And I think those are two good perspectives for us. And so I'm going to get them on, probably talk about just some old radio stuff just for fun. But I do want their perspective from where they're living and how we're kind of gearing up to the things that are going on. Because as we get this renewed vigor of COVID, we're seeing a lot of people get sick right now. I don't, they're saying that some people that have been vaccinated. I don't really know. I've listened to, I don't know who to trust anymore. I do know that I've had a lot of friends that have gotten sick that didn't get a shot, and I did get a shot, and that's a personal decision. So I'm gonna let everybody, do their own thing. But I'm curious about just how many people are actually in the hospital that have had shots. So I encourage you to really talk to your doctor about getting vaccinated, guys, because I did, and I feel like that's the right thing for me to do, and I hope you'll consider it. But also, too, I want to really caution you about the way they'll ramp things up in the media right now. And my views and opinions are my own and don't necessarily express the views and ownership of this radio station. But, we're only a year away from midterms. And so part of me kind of wonders if some of the ramping up of the rhetoric isn't thinking about, we've got to make sure and we got to put on masks and we got to get all freaked out again because they're trying to set it up. Because I think that was a big part of what happened and that's my opinion, with the last election. So I encourage you to be very careful about what you hear and look for truth in all of it. And I do encourage you, though, to get vaccinated because I've got some really good friends that are fighting like crazy and they're wishing they had. And so anyway, that's just my opinion, and that's done for the day for One Street Over. And I'm going to slide out of here and let Lee Marie come in here and set up and get ready for the Go Show. This is 1100 WSGI. God bless. Have a wonderful day.